X. I was trying to think of like, hey, can I do like a symbol for X? I'm not going to do anything. X. Do you guys like pornography? Do you like vintage pornography? Some people out there, they must like it, because if they didn't, this wouldn't be a thing that got made. So X, this is a porn farm horror movie, baby, and it was surprisingly good. Look, I've never been the biggest fan of the horror genre. I think it gets played out easily, but then I'm like, every other thing I watch gets played out easily, so why should I complain when horror does it? You know, it's kind of something I'm working on fixing. My horror knowledge is limited. I'm trying to grow it, so I'm trying to be positive about a film like this, because it was pretty fun. You know, I thoroughly enjoyed my time watching this. It was pretty cool. I went in the middle of the day, so it was an empty theater when I went, so I was by myself, and I got like this weird feeling that like the theater staff was watching me, because this is a porn movie. There is porn stuff in it. So like, oh, this man's alone watching a movie about pornography. I'm like, oh yeah, that will make me look good in the eyes of the public here. But no, it's cool. So it's 1979, and we actually have like some film aesthetic that looks like it's from that time, kind of film grainy at times. Some great use of like the, you know, the square frame cameras. It looks pretty cool, I gotta say. And this like auteur filmmaker's working with this porn producer, and they're like, we're gonna make some really good pornography on this farm, man. And then it turns out that there's some evil people in this horror movie. So maybe these, you know, are beautiful people who are going against the Lord are doing something that's against the Lord's nature, so they get attacked, and it's a horror movie. It's a slasher flick, it's a horror movie, you get it. But pornography. And it's kind of fun. There's an interesting balance that this film totes. It's very much like free love, hippie power, all that stuff, like be yourself, be true to yourself, love and be everything you want to be. Don't be tied down to one thing. Monogamy is sometimes bad. You just go forth and be free in the world. Power and love and peace, baby. It's partly that. It's kind of like the hippies against the yuppies, like the old timers. I get that. It's another part like, hey man, it's groovy to be free and all that, but sometimes you gotta buckle down and be a man in this economy, dude. You gotta do the right thing for your people. It's another part, stabby slashy. And there's a weird part about it that's like auteur filmmaking. It's like one of the lead characters named RJ. He is really into making like a beautiful film, and he's talking about like how you can make film beautiful and it can be this prestigious thing, and we're advancing ourselves to do all this stuff, like this French New Wave shit. I'm like, dude, what the hell what a weird message to throw in here. But I don't hate it. I don't hate it. It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, this makes sense to me. You are a man in this country in this time in the life, you're like, I'm gonna do a film like this, so I get it, and that's kind of cool. The story for this is surprisingly good. Like, I think if you were to take like this exact story minus a few of the beats that are specific to the horror trope, it would work in another genre. It could be a comedy, a drama, it could literally be a porno, and I think it would work just as fine because it's kind of cool that way. I did like that. There was a lot of good use of just like building tension and everything in here, and to me that's something that's going to be a deterrent for some of the audience members. I was seeing people talk about this online. Some people are like, oh, this is kind of slow and doesn't really add up to everything. That's a good horror movie. If you want a jump scare, watch a video on TikTok. If you want like a slow, methodical build to something that's a great release, kind of like sex itself, where it starts off as one thing and then it slowly builds up to the climactic ending. That's what this film does. It takes you along on this ride. It teases you a little bit of like, here's these beautiful women and Kid Cudi for some reason. Here's these amazing people doing this thing. Here's the building of the tension. Here's like, oh, the crocodile. Oh, the world we're in and all this crazy stuff. And then there's the payoff at the end where everything comes together in classic fashion. And I don't hate that. I think that's a really good thing to see. And a lot of that comes down to just, you got a lot of the right actors. Mia Goth, who's a woman I haven't seen in anything before this. She does a good job presenting herself as the final leading lady here, and it works pretty well. She's definitely like trying to like see right there in the middle of like the one that doesn't really like get into this world and the one that's a part of this world. She's right there in the middle of like experienced but still new, and I think she does a good job balancing that. To me, the standouts, of course, are Jenna Ortega, because look, she's just the scream queen of our time. You know, she's the new Jamie Lee, and I think that's kind of cool because she does a great job at it. Like nobody. I haven't seen anybody in recent times that does like an iconic scream quite like her. She is just great at it, and she's going to be doing so many other great stuff. I cannot wait to see what this woman's career turns into. It's amazing to me that we can still actually get talented young actors where they can actually show you their prowess at such a young age. Because she's only, this is going to sound creepy if I know this, isn't it? She's only 20, I think she's only 20. Very talented young woman. And Brittany Snow, seasoned for an extent, really should have got a bigger break, because honestly, this woman is so talented. She gives off like that Kristen Wiig energy where she could just play anything, whether it's deadpan to satirical. Like, she is so talented. I hope she gets more opportunities because she was fantastic. And Kid Cudi. Hey, look, Kid Cudi's in here for some reason. I'll never understand it, but yeah, there he is. Looking, he's taller than I expected. Good. It's cool. And it works. I like that. The chemistry between the characters is great. Their acting is surprisingly good for a film like this. And the actual use of like the villain and the bad guy for this piece, your slasher, your actual, demonic possessed creature or something like that, it's believable. And I really like that. There's a really cool theme about this film that I enjoy throughout it, and that's just being interpreted as something you're not, where it's like maybe because you're of a certain time, or you're of a certain age, you are supposed to be seen or viewed as a certain type of person, but you want to express yourself and do something different than maybe what you're used to or what people expect you to do. And that's kind of a cool theme that you wouldn't be expecting from a movie like this. I do like that. This movie, another theme about it, maybe it's not a theme, but one of the things it says is like, hey, your parents probably fuck a lot. Hey, your grandparents probably fuck a lot. Old people be fucking. That's a part of this film. Don't like discourage them from having those feelings that you do as a young person. Let them do it, man. That's just part of it. That's part of the fun. That's part of the allure. We all like it. We're all a part of that world. So let's experience that in big, bold, and sexy ways. Sometimes, when those feelings don't come out in the way you want them to, you could get a little bit angry and frustrated at the younger generation just flaunting their stuff, and maybe that leads you to want to kill them. Because that's the premise of this film. Spoiler alert, because I feel like this is important to say if you are somebody who needs to know like stuff going into horror movies. The villain are old people who are horny but can't really get off with each other, so they kill a bunch of young people who can just make porn. That's awesome. Like, that is so funny and cool. What a great concept that works for a really nuanced piece of fiction that could have easily just fallen by the wayside and become something tropey and basic. It is tropey. I don't think it's basic, though. It does some great cinematography. It does some great camera work. I am impressed with how this turned out, because X could have easily been nothing if it has a beautiful message with an actual beautiful ending that makes sense for these characters, with shock value, great cinematography. There's one moment in particular where it's like a bird's eye view shot of a woman in a lake and a crocodile swimming up to her. I will be thinking about that forever, because this film, as silly and basic as it could be at times, it's actually pretty impressive, I'm just amazed. I'm amazed that I liked a film like this as much as I did. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. Old people be fucking, man. It happens. It's just the real world. And sometimes that's kind of crazy and chaotic. But it's kind of beautiful too, isn't it? In a weird way. Not in this film, though. But in other ways. There's beauty behind old people making love. Oh, man. Oh, man. What am I doing? Whatever. X. There's your symbol. Wakanda forever. X. I'm going to give this film a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Stay horny, my friends.